Like how we started with Attorney Chel Jokno.
Yeah.
We had to confirm, no? Senator Laila de Lima's statement that you will be running for the 2025 midterm polls. So, are you or are you not?
I was just with her this morning, and we had that clarified. We are seriously considering that as one option, to go back to the Senate. But we have not made our final decision yet. There's a process that we're undergoing together with Senator Chel, BAM. So we're discussing this still. So I'm seriously considering it. It's an option, and at the right time, we will make the proper announcement.
So you're still waiting for, kumbaga, like normal decision makers waiting for a sign. Are there like certain parameters that must be met, or you're waiting for?
Yeah. Well, of course, obviously, you decide to run because you think you have a good chance of winning. So, and polling is very important as a guide. So we're looking at the polls, we're weighing it, and then we will see.
So numbers.
The numbers are a major consideration, and that's what we're reviewing now.
How much work does the Liberal Party need to do after the 2022 elections? Coming from that, I'm sure it was a full run for you.
Which wasn't my plan, by the way, originally. I had planned on, actually the original plan was to go for re-election in the Senate, but Vice President Lenny then decided last minute, and I had to decide last 10 seconds.
I love that you brought up last minute, because my question to you is, what is the timeline then? We're just over a year out from the midterms. Time is running short, I dare say.
Yes.
So what's your timeline for making a decision?
What would be last minute before the midterms?
Well, this is last minute in the context of a presidential run. So that was last minute.
A harder last minute.
Yes, because that's a one-on-one campaign, president, vice president. So this is the midterm. You have 12 candidates vying for, candidates vying for 12 positions. So medyo, it's not going to be as last minute if, compared to a one-on-one fight. So we'll maybe in the next 4 or 5 months, that might be a working timetable.
What lessons did you take away from the last elections?
Oh, digital technology, is important. If 15 years ago, my first national campaign was in 2021, so that's 23 years ago. So if 20 years ago you can't win without national TV, today you can't win without digital media, digital technology intervention. So it's a major challenge. Disinformation, in fact, is a malaking bagay yung disinformation. Kasi two-pronged yung disinformation. They will disinform about their candidacies, your adversaries, and then they will disinform about their opponents, which would be, in our case, us. And which is what we learned in the last election. Two-pronged yung disinformation. And therefore, we need to address that.
And that's what Attorney Chel was saying. He's been busy making legal advice TikToks.
Yes.
We also had a conversation a couple of weeks ago with, of course, another LP member, former Congressman Teddy Bagilat, and he said, admittedly, medyo nahuli nga ang LP pagdating sa social media game. And we were even joking about maybe making Manong Edsel Lagman, tuturuan daw paano gumamit ng social media. Have you been busy also tweaking your social media content and maybe, dabbling with the analytics or whatnot?
Well, I've been busy with my advocacies even before TikTok came around. In other words, we will do what we will do on the basis of what we believe in. I've been farming since 2012.
Correct.
I was chairman of the Senate Agriculture Committee in 2010. So it's 2024 now. So I've been at it for the last 24, 25 years.
I have seen, though, your agriculture social media content, actually.
Yes.
Of late, that's what, after 2022, that's what I've been seeing. Pag si Senator Kiko, it's always around Agri and farming. I just wanted to get your thoughts. Of course, Agri is our main driver of inflation right now. It's a big, big problem for every Filipino.
Rice in particular.
Yes, particularly that. What are your thoughts on our current situation? I just wanted to get a feel. How do you perceive the landscape? And are you happy with how our new Agri Secretary is handling everything?
Well, I did post about the NFA's controversy. 100 plus NFA officials and employees were preventively suspended. First, I work with these people. There are definitely a lot of good people, hardworking, decent, honest people in the bureaucracy, in the NFA. But of course, there are bad eggs. And really, in the end, unless good governance is still basic. During my time as Food Security Secretary, we actually were able to bring down rice inflation within a period of 1 year from 15% rice inflation in June of 2014 to 0.8% rice inflation in June of 2015 with a number of interventions, including purchasing rice at lower prices without tongpats, going after the hoarders, filing cases, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, clamping down on smuggling, and the rice inflation went down from 15% to 0.8%. And in the 20 years, in June 2015, inflation was lowest in 20 years. So you can do it, but it takes good governance to do that. Because there is a well-entrenched bureaucracy and the suspension of the 100 plus NFA officials was brought about by what? Because traders decided to buy the rice. Who has the money to buy the rice? Not the NFA, it's the traders. So why aren't the traders being, who are these traders? Who are their, I think media should look into their names, who are behind it, how did they get away with it? Because that's the whole, we actually filed cases during my time.
I was going to say, you instigated a few hearings during your time
Also.
into smuggling as well.
Also.
Rice smuggling.
So it's a combination, well, it's really good governance, combination of filing the necessary, implementing the law. You have the Consumer Price Act, you have the Price Act, the Consumer Protection Act, the Price Act, you have the economics, sabotage, smuggling. It's all there. So you just really need to enforce the law. And so we actually support the efforts of Secretary Kiko in going after, entrencing the bureaucracy.
Why is it so hard to stamp out the smugglers and the hoarders? As you pointed out, you guys tried. And this administration is trying too.
Well, admittedly, when they took over, what we started, was set aside. We had a very transparent process of bidding. You know what I said? What I said in the post was, that's the indicative of the entire agri sector. What happened in the NFA. It applies to all other.
Alin po exactly?
Rice, corn, sugar,
Gulay,
importation,
what happened there?
smuggling. The agri economy. Agriculture contributes about 9% into GDP, but that does not include agri manufacturing, which means fertilizers, feeds. That's another 15%. And it does not include warehousing, cold storage, transport, logistics. That's another 10%. The entire agro-industrial logistics industry is about 35% of GDP. That's a huge amount of money going around. And why are the farmers poor? This is what I said. Unless the money going into that 35% actually is mobilized around building the capacity of our producers. That's why food is so expensive.
Yeah, it doesn't trickle
doesn't
down.
trickle
to them.
down.
Where's the money going?
So there is.
Alam ni Senator yan.
No, but ultimately,
That was
it is an exploitative, oppressive, economic relationships that are ongoing, and it is actually enabled by government.
I don't know that we have the power to investigate. Of course, we have the power to ask questions. And we asked Senator Cynthia Villar questions as well,
Yes.
now that she chairs the committee. But we keep coming back around to the same questions around why is there an inside job? Why are there traders who buy? Why is there price inflation?
So
And
in
the
the
same
40
names
what-
also.
where?
In
It's
the
also the
42,
same names.
I will go back to what we did. No? Kasi nagawa naman eh. In the 42-year history, for example, of NFA during my watch, for the first time, we had failed biddings. we rejected the bids of Thailand and Vietnam for being overpriced. 4 times we rejected, we opened the process, and 4 times they came back to us with a lower price. The total for that year of importations, we saved 7 billion. So you ask me, why is it the same thing over? You know, a lot of money is going around. So sabi ko nga, that's the step in the right direction. Go after the bureaucracy, but also go after those behind the sale.
The private sector.
This is an illegal, the allegation is it's an illegal sale of NFA rice to traders. So why aren't we talking about the traders?
Can I get your thoughts, Senator, on the
We don't
RTF?
even know their names. We know the names of all the NFA employees and officials. They've been preventedly suspended. What happened to the traders? That's where the money is.
Every so often, though, Senator, the traders' names come out, and they have been the same exact names. There's a cartel for every single produce. So onion
which is what I
cartel.
said also in the post. There is no cartel per se. Because, when the government points to a cartel, 3 fingers points back at it. The cartel is a conspiracy between government, number of
collusion.
corrupt government officials.
Your thoughts, Senator, on
And the business sector.
the rice tarification law was supposed to curb some of this activity that we do not like. What are your thoughts on it?
The rice tarification law mandates that we open up diba, our rice industry into, so that it's more, bring in importation, allow for support for our farmers. Again, it's implementation. Because ultimately, once you open up our rice industry and bring in imports, you have to build capacity of your farmers to produce more. And ultimately, again, any intervention must be directed at building the capacity of our farmers and our fisher folk. Thailand is spending double what we're spending in agriculture, government. Vietnam is spending triple. So it has to be better spending, but also correct, corrupt spending. So make sure that the resources are brought to supporting and building the capacity of our farmers to produce more. Why are food prices so high? Because farmers are not producing enough. Why aren't they producing enough? Because they're not being supported enough. Why aren't they being supported enough? The inefficiency, somebody in the inefficiency
Is benefiting.
Senator, I feel like we can go
Why-
on and
why-
on.
sorry,
and
sorry,
on and on and
sorry.
on.
Yes,
It's-
just one more point.
And around, yeah.
When you strengthen and empower your farmers and fisher folk, then they cannot be exploited. You cannot buy dirt cheap palay prices from them. You cannot buy dirt cheap onion prices from them because you've empowered them. So there is really this antiquated, oppressive system that is enabled by government and these, sabi ko nga, the unconscionable partnership of greed.
Okay.
That has to be addressed. So it's good governance. Ultimately, put somebody there who will not kowtow to the system and who will fight it, with the support, of course, of the president. That's how you turn around the agri and economy.
Well, it seems that the past years, has gotten you to observe all of that. You've taken a back seat the past years. I mean, from being very active in government, of course. But I'd like to get your thoughts on what's been happening, all the political movements now. First, I think would be...
It's easier to talk to my my lettuce and my herbs and my
do you think...
chickens and my pigs.
Do you think there is a sense of justice under this Marcos administration with the granting of the release on bail of Senator Laila de Lima? You filed a cyber libel complaint, of course, still with the
I filed 2
current
actually,
administration.
and I
Google
filed
and YouTube.
against and I filed a case against YouTube and Google. So yeah, we'll see.
And also the criticism on President Marcos not doing enough to make up for former President Duterte's war on drugs. What is your sense on the current administration's enforcement of justice?
Well, it's a broad very general state question. Also, but let's, for example, I'm appreciative of this current administration's position on China. Definitely much better than the previous administration. And we support the effort to stand up against China and to, you know, and be mindful that, you know, we will not give up an inch. But it has to move forward also. How do we now strengthen our alliances with ASEAN? How do we strengthen our bilaterals with the US, with Australia, with Japan, all those who believe that we should have a better, you know, who disagree with the aggression that is happening in the West Philippine Sea. So I agree in that regard. That is a...
So tama lang yung pag-iikot ng presidente sa buong mundo.
Well, you know, kailangan din niyang magpirmi rito at hanapan ng solusyon yung mga problema rito. But you know, you don't have to go hopping everywhere to be able to achieve that purpose of you know, pushing for our rights, diba? And our to our exclusive economic zone and our territorial sea.
And yet, in the upper and lower house, and with the administration now, we're seeing a new opposition coming forth, the Dutertes and the Marcoses. Where does the Liberal Party find themselves in all of this?
Are you still in your
You know, it's so
opinion?
easy to
Are you
say you're
still the-
opposition. You know,
That's why I wanted
we've
to...
seen that already. Ang dali-dali magsabing opposition, ang dali-dali magsabing ayaw natin ng corruption, ang dali-dali sabihin kung ano-ano, di ba? That we are for the people. Ang panawagan ko na lang, imbis na i-comment ko na lang yung sinasabi nila, doon sa taong bayan, maging mabusisi tayo, huwag tayo basta-basta magpapaniwala. Pag sinabi natin opposition, totoo bang talagang opposition? Dahil sa paninindigan? O ito'y opposition dahil may sariling interest na pinoprotektahan? Di ba? Dati, gusto ng tsa-tsa. Ngayon, ayaw ng tsa-tsa. Di ba? Ano ba talaga?
But actually, that's what the analysts have been saying, right? With a divided unit team, there is an opening for the Liberal Party now to come in. You could break up the numbers. You could gain more
Well,
of
you
their
know,
base.
a third poll is possible, but that whether or not may appetite for that remains to be seen. But, you know, in 2007, actually, I ran as an independent in the midterm elections. I did not join ERAP's administration. I did not join GMA. I mean, ERAP's opposition and GMA's administration. Because they decided, diba? Okay, opposition will be headed by ERAP, administration by GMA. And I asked them both to resign. So I said, I cannot suddenly out of the blue, after asking both of them to resign, I will align and say, sige, joke only, no, I have to win. So I ran an independent campaign. I did not join any of the big tickets. That was, in a way, a third option to the two. But it was viable then, in my sense, because the administration was not very popular under GMA. And of course, there was people power too. EDSA was EDSA dos, and therefore the president,
So
former
is it
president.
possible again, Senator, next year that you could take that same road and run as an independent? Is that in the possibility of choices?
Well, sabi nga nila, politics is the realm of the possible, di ba? And depends. If they're going to go down that road and they're going to attack one another, then there might be an option for an alternative to both. But we will see.
Si former VP Lenny, nakausap niyo po ba?
Nakakausap naman.
Kino-convince ninyo na tumakbo?
Well, we you know, her concern is politics in the local because of the legacy of Sec Chessy. So I can understand that and I respect that. But I went back to her and said, after all, Ma'am, when we were convincing you to run for president, you said if it's meant to be, it'll happen. So I would just leave it at that.
Well, one thing that's meant to be.
Is your show.
Yeah.
Before we run out of time, you have
Yes.
a new show. Tell us about it.
Yes, it's Hello Pagkain. It's about farming, about food. We will be doing it here in 1PH, in Signal. And we actually started already. Our first episode was last week.
What's different about it?
Well, it's about food, It's about farming. It's the value of food in our, in our daily lives.
Do you visit other farms or?
It'll be a combination. We will
Okay.
visit other farms. We will be in our farm. It's hello pagkain. It's
So you also do food tasting. We can see you in Mario's in
So
Baguio.
mostly-
yes.
Mostly
We will
the
visit
restaurants.
It's all about
restaurants.
eating. Filipino food lang ba?
Farming.
Farm to table,
Yes,
following that
yes.
farm to table process.
Could
we
be
will
around
have
the
we will
world
have
too?
different. We will have cooking.
Okay.
We will have collaboration with chefs. We will have tips on agriculture, the plantitos and the plantitos.
Pero yung pinag-usapan natin kanina na problema ng agricultural industry, pag-uusapan nyo rin po ba?
From time to time, yes, depending on if there are burning issues affecting the agriculture sector, we will not we will look into that too. And basta ang ano natin dito, farming, food, and food security. And in fact, I was just there. We taped. It's harvesting. We harvested about 315 kilos of lettuce. So how do we move away from subsistence farming to farm enterprise? Tomorrow I'll be in the farm because I have grade 1 students from a school here in Manila doing a farm tour. The other day I spoke with, we have OJT, on-the-job training students from Tarlac Agricultural University. So we're doing all what needs to be done to make in our advocacy for farming and food security so that's
All right.
When
So-
can we watch this?
this is Saturdays 11 o'clock here on 1PH, and then we also have replays on YouTube. And then we're also in I think teasers will be in Facebook.
Facebook for
And
sure.
then
yeah.
my own YouTube channel and my own Instagram account, Facebook accounts. It will also be uploaded.
Is this
there.
one season or tuloy-tuloy lang?
One season, and then we'll see. We'll take it from there.
So,
Of
hello
course, we will also,
pagkain.
hello pagkain.
Hello
Tama pala,
pagkain.
parang nagugutom na
Nagugutom na rin ako kasi. Hindi ako tumingin dun sa monitor. But hello pagkain, Saturdays at 11.
Ako.
Lots of free plays online on your
Online.
accounts and as well as on
Yes.
1PH's account. So thank you so much for your time tonight and for sharing your thoughts with us.
Dapat mapanood ko yan. Matututo ba ako dyan mag-farm? Kung
Yes.
wala akong alam.
Matututo kang magluto, matututo kang
Hindi, farm lang.
Ayaw
mag-farm din. Oo.
Okay.
They'll
yeah,
teach you to
yeah.
be domesticated.
How to plant lettuce and make it grow. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, former Senator
Thank
Kiko
you.
Pangilinan. Catch him again on Hello Pagkain, Saturdays on 1PH at 11 a.m.